going to discuss the question from signals and systems given in GATE 2001 here. So related to the convolution concepts. So here given that the transfer function of a system is given by h of s equals to 1 by s square into s minus 2. Then the impulse response of the system is, so here star denotes the convolution and u of t is the unit step function. So now we'll see the solution for this. Later we'll indicate the answer. So coming to the solution, so here given that h of s equals to 1 by s square into s minus 2. Here I am writing that this h of s equals to h1 of s into h2 of s. We know that the convolution property of the Laplace transforms that is h of t, considering that h1 of t convoluted with h2 of t. By applying the Laplace transform for this, we know that this is equals to h1 of s into h2 of s. The convolution in time domain becomes the multiplication in s domain. So by knowing that h1 of s and h2 of s, then we can obtain the inverse Laplace transform for this h1 of s and h2 of s. Then we can write simply the convolution between h1 of t and h2 of t. That becomes the answer for this impulse response h of t. Now observing that h1 of s equals to 1 by s square and h2 of s equals to 1 by s minus 2. So here not mentioned any ROC, then always you will go for the right hand side sequence. Then we know that the Laplace transform of u of t is 1 by s, and the Laplace transform of t into u of t ramp function is 1 by s square. Then the inverse Laplace transform of 1 by s square is t into u of t. That becomes the h1 of t here. So in the same way, we know that the Laplace transform of e power at u of t is 1 by s minus a. Then Laplace transform of e power 2t into u of t is 1 by s minus 2. Then inverse Laplace transform of 1 by s minus 2 is e power 2t into u of t. That becomes the h2 of t. Then finally we know that h of t, the impulse response of given transfer function, is h1 of t convoluted with h2 of t, that is t u of t convoluted with e power 2t u of t. Then finally we can write that t convoluted with e power 2t into u of t. That is the answer here. Then the answer for this is t into t convoluted with e power 2t into u of t is the answer.